Mr. Ahmed Attaf, Minister of State, Minister of Foreign Affairs, National Community Abroad, and African Affairs of Algeria.
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this session and for responding to the request of the Group of Islamic States in the Council. I also thank His Excellency, the Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, for his valuable briefing covering the recent developments in the Middle East. This region has become synonym to destruction and devastation, a synonym to injustice and oppression, a synonym to criminality in its harshest forms and manifestations. How can it not be so, while this region has known all these horrors that no other region has known for successive generations? Without any exaggeration and without any qualifications, the situation there is self-telling, whether be it regarding the Palestinian cause, particularly all the regional landscape in the Middle East in general. On the Palestinian level, we cannot deny anymore that Gaza, and for more than 2 years, have been witnessing a full-fledged genocidal war. This has been confirmed by the UN Commission of Inquiry. And there is no doubt today that famine is indeed occurring in Gaza after our organization has confirmed famine in Gaza officially. There is also no room for interpreting the designs for displacement, reoccupation, and the annexation of Gaza and the West Bank after the Israeli occupation started implementing these designs and announcing them blatantly and brazenly. On the regional level, the Israeli aggressions continue unabated. An Israeli aggression against Yemen, followed by an Israeli aggression against Lebanon, then an Israeli aggression against Syria, followed by an Israeli aggression on Iran, and a few days ago, yet another Israeli aggression against the state of Qatar. Needless to say that this list might expand even further, following the threats against other countries in the region. This is the unjust and tragic situation that the Israeli occupation is trying to entrench. The Israeli occupation is opening new fronts of aggression, one front after the other. This Council does not have to solve riddles anymore, now that the Israeli occupation itself is boasting about its achievements. The Israeli aggression is first aiming at undermining any prospect for the establishment of an independent, sovereign Palestinian state, not on the ground alone, but also in the minds of people, if possible. Second, the Israeli occupation aims at redrawing the borders in the region based on its imagination and its illusions, basing itself on the most dangerous myth, which is the myth of Greater Israel. Third and last, the Israeli occupation aims at entrenching its absolute monopoly over the region and at having the final say in that region, to attack whomever they want, whenever they want, and however they want. They give no regard to international law, nor to the UN Charter, and not even to the merest rules and customs related to civilized coexistence. Beyond all that, the Israeli occupation dares to promote their lies. They say that the Palestinians want them out, while they deny their right to exist, their right to life, and their right to build their own independent sovereign state. The Israeli occupation dares to promote their propaganda, claiming that they are alone, surrounded by enemies who want to destroy them, while they have been acting arrogantly against all the countries of the region. In addition to all the above, the Israeli occupation is claiming to be a shrine for democracy and the rule of law in the region, while they have proved for the whole world that they are the greatest danger to right and to law, and that they are the gravest threat threatening security and stability in the region and international peace and security. The tragedies and horrors that the Middle East is facing today require us to reconsider peace and security in the region and to approach them differently from a more comprehensive perspective that accepts no fragmentation. The issue of security in the Middle East did not start on the 7th of October 2023 in order to be associated and reduced to that date. That would be unjust and biased. The history of the region runs parallel to the history of this organization. It proves that the Palestinian cause remains the central cause that cannot be obliterated, that cannot be ignored, and cannot be marginalized. Today, we see for ourselves how attempts at liquidating this cause only added to its legitimacy and made it the most just cause on the planet. The history of the region is carved into the resolution of this Council. This history proves that there is no alternative to the two-state solution and to the establishment of the State of Palestine along the borders of 1967 with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. This is the just, lasting, and final settlement of the Israeli-Palestinian crisis or conflict. Today, we also see for ourselves how the designs to obliterate this state only made it more resolute through the diplomatic recognitions. Algeria welcomes these recognitions and calls for strengthening them in order to grant the Palestinian state a full membership in our organization. The history of the organization is also rooted in international legitimacy. This history proves that there is no alternative to putting a final end to the exceptional, unjust treatment granted to the Israeli occupation, including impunity, non-accountability, and no punishment. And today, we also see for ourselves how the overwhelming majority of the member states believe in the importance of dissuasion and accountability for those who believe that they are above all the rules, regulations, and laws that others are respecting. Furthermore, the history of the region also shows that security and stability in the Middle East will not be achieved if our Council does not shoulder its responsibilities. The fate of the Palestinian cause and the fate of the Palestinian people, the fate of all the countries and peoples of the region, all these fates depend on the will of this Council and on the Council's ability to impose the respect of its resolution, to impose the respect of international legitimacy, and its ability to dissuade all violations and to end impunity. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank His Excellency Mr. Attaf for the statement. I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Musa Timothy Kaba, Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation of Sierra Leone.